to Shanahan, younger gun, but step up, following in his footsteps. A couple of players that there's a lot of buzz about this week. Kyle Shanahan, the fullback, and George Kittle, who, has been a superstar this season, although relatively quiet in terms of production in the playoffs. But, of course, his game is far more than just receiving yards, isn't it?
Oh, man, listen, George Kittle, man, I'm telling you, he is a monster in the run game. He loves run blocking. He is why they are able to have success running behind him. It's the same way Gronkowski was used in New England. Nobody really talked about his power in the run game blocking. But as a receiver, he is a bully. If you don't tackle him, he will change the momentum of the game quickly by one of those plays where he's throwing defenders all over the place.
And that goes back to the yards after catch issue that the Chiefs D have. And what about Kyle Juszczyk as well? A lot of buzz about both of those being productive in the offense going into the game. So many weapons on this 49ers offense too, much like the Chiefs, but he could be one of the stars of the Super Bowl.
Think about when Shanahan got the job. He went out and paid a fullback a ton of money.
And it's a dying art, isn't it, the fullback?
He understood how important it is. Kyle Juszczyk doesn't have to touch the ball all game to be a huge impact in this game with everything he does. Remember, because they're in base offense, because they have a fullback, that means you have to have your base defense out there. That gives you an advantage on offense because you can move him around like a chess piece.
Got to ask you a question on Jimmy Garoppolo because, again, talking about big narratives this week, Garoppolo is perhaps the biggest, and it's completely dividing opinion, of course. One of the mainstream takes on the 49ers is because they've based their game in the playoffs so much on the run, that is the direction Shanahan wants to go, that he doesn't have faith in Garoppolo, and other arguments that I think ultimately are pretty nonsensical. When you look at a number of factors, the fact that Shanahan wanted Garoppolo, the fact that he has had a number of games this season when he's been asked to air it out and has managed to do it. He's a clutch player as well. Yes, he turns over the ball a fair bit, but look at the Saints game we mentioned earlier on. If he needs to go toe-to-toe, he can. What kind of factor do you think Garoppolo is going to have in this game?
Let's look at this. Let's break this down. He's been under Tom Brady's tutelage.
Right.
He sees how to manage these huge games, with crazy implications on the line. So mentally, he's ready. Now, he hasn't played bad games in the playoffs. So now he's not in the Super Bowl, like, I got to get it together because he hasn't had to throw.
Right.
So he has nothing to overcome. He has to go out there and make the throws that are designed for him because they will be there in the play action pass. Trust me, this guy is ready for it, and he knows he's going to have to make big chunk plays this game to keep up with Pat Mahomes and that KC offense.
Hope you enjoyed the Nat Coombs Show presented by Paddy Power Fantasy. There's plenty more where that came from. Just click subscribe to ESPN UK and you won't miss a trick.